What is going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to bring you a video with Robert Woodson. And Robert Woodson is a civil rights leader, and he's talking about reparations. I wanted to bring the video to you. But hey, if you guys would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
I'm Bob Woodson, president and founder of the Woodson Center, a national not-for-profit that helps low-income people in 39 states to develop solutions to the problems of poverty in their community. And but I have been critical of those who have been using that rich tradition of civil rights as a bludgeon against the values of this country. And I really think that the whole issue of reparations is an extension of that misuse of the rich legacy of the civil rights movement. My more cynical self says that this is more about the elections of 2024 than it's about, reparations from 1619. I think that the whole issue is a deflection, is a reflection away from the real problems and challenges facing majorities of Blacks around the country. They are, the whole narrative is driven by what a colleague of mine called a small group of guilty whites who are seeking absolutions from crimes they never committed, and a group of entitled Blacks who are seeking absolutions from injustice they never suffered. And I really think this is the whole issue of, as I said on Dr. Phil, is that it's more complicated than whites are guilty and Blacks are victims. There were 3,700 Blacks who own, free Blacks who own 13,000 slaves. Well, do the descendants of those people pay? You have Native Americans on the Trail of Tears going from Oklahoma. They had 3,000 slaves that they took on that journey to Oklahoma. Well, do the descendants of those Native Americans pay?
You know what, guys, man? I agree with this gentleman. His name is Robert Woodson, and I totally agree with him. I mean, again, I think very, very, very likely the Democratic Party is using this as a way to propel themselves or keep themselves in power. And, so I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment that the Democratic Party is looking to capitalize on this. And that's why they're keeping it going. And in no way do I believe this will ever be paid. In no way. And also, man, in no way should anyone, doesn't matter what the color of their skin is, be quiet about this issue. Again, people need to speak up, especially the people that disagree. If you disagree with this, does not matter if you're white, black, red, doesn't matter. If you disagree with this, then speak up. Again, people tell you that you can't talk, you can't have an opinion on something if you don't meet the demographic marker. If you're not black, if you're not a woman, whatever, man, they tell you that you can't speak on this. You can't speak on abortion if you're not a woman. But then again, they can't define what a woman actually is. But, I mean, yeah, the thing is, we all need to be able to speak our minds on something, especially in this case, because, again, they're going to use tax dollars to supposedly pay for this. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I think, again, it's getting closer, especially in certain areas, but people, doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, man, need to speak up because they're going to use, if it gets passed, they're going to use tax dollars to pay for this. Your tax dollars. So again, speak up. If you disagree with this, speak up. So again, man, number one, I agree that the Democratic Party, I think, is definitely using this. And number two, man, yeah, I think he's right about this too. Like, if we are skipping over the actual real issues as to why the Black community is failing, as to why there's so many, people that are committing crimes. So many of the Black youth, man, are committing crimes. There are so many. There are much more homeless, man. Again, there's much more drugs in that community. Again, we're skipping over those problems if we're not addressing them. If we're not addressing those problems, and we're saying, oh no, the problem is the white man, keeping you down. They're the problem. They're the issue. And again, if they're skipping over the issue and pointing and giving you somebody to blame, they're effectively taking away any realization that you're going to have of what you could do to make your life better. Again, they're giving you someone to blame when the actual blame falls on the people themselves, number one, which is kind of what he was saying. And number two, not only does it fall on yourself, but it falls on the people that are trying to keep you blind to it. They're trying to keep you blind. They're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. They're giving you people to blame for your problems.
Low-income Black communities having a 9/11 every 6 months. More Blacks are killed in 1 year by other Blacks than were killed in the 40 years by the Klan. And so tell me how reparations could address that critical crisis. And for then the advocates for reparations to posture that therefore the only way that Black America can benefit and be uplifted is for white people to offer reparations. I mean, what does that say about the capacity of Blacks to be agents of their own uplift? It says that, and so in order to solve a problem, you got to properly diagnose it. And reparations is no answer for the challenges facing large numbers of Blacks in these cities. It's lethal to continue to direct attention away from the critical problems and challenges facing Black community. And reparations is a major distraction. 17 on Mother's Day weekend, 17 Blacks in 2 cities were shot by other Blacks. A 10-year-old girl was riding home with her family from a Mother's Day dinner, and she was shot and killed in a car. Tell me how reparations would address this crisis. And so it is important for us to look at what is a priority here and what are the solutions that we're seeking. And Black America is not only Black America, but all Americans. Our children are in a moral and spiritual crisis. I'm laughing because some people can't even tell who their fathers are today, let alone trace their ancestors back. And if they did, were those ancestors slave holders or were they slave masters?
Guys, man, I'm going to cut the video right here. But one thing, man, that I definitely agree with them on is number one, man, reparations is not going to work. Because again, man, I believe the reparations is a distraction away from what the real issues are. And again, if we're not willing to diagnose, like what he said, if we're not willing to properly diagnose the issues, we're never going to find a solution to those issues. Because again, we won't look at the actual problems. Number one, man. And number two, this country is in a spiritual downfall. We are finding ourselves into a spiritual and moral crisis. Again, man, we used to have certain values that we used to, hold up. Again, Your word is your bond. Hard work, doing the right thing, not taking the easy way out. Those are values, man, that we used to have. Not taking money. Because again, understanding that if somebody's going to give you a check, there's going to be strings attached to that check. And again, people knew that years ago, man. In my own lifetime, I think, again, people knew that if somebody's offering you money, they're not your mama, they're not your daddy, and you're not 10. If somebody's trying to give you money, there are strings attached to it. So again, we have to look at what is really going on. People, they want money. They want reparations. People that were never slaves want money from people that were never slave owners. Again, they want money. People who were never slaves want money from people that were never slave owners. And again, we have full equality under the law, which is all you can ever do. So again, you are a slave and you don't even know it. And that goes for white folks and black folks. You are slaves, man, and you don't even know it. Again, if you're demanding money and you're willing to pay money and you're willing to buy into this narrative, then you are a slave. You've already sold your soul, man. You are a slave by your own doing, not by anyone else's, by your own. But hey guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks.
You son of a